Hi, this is Ashley Jones with part 3 of my series Surviving Disneyland and California Adventure with Special Needs and Autism. So, welcome everybody. Um, if you haven't checked out the first two parts, please make sure to do so at your earliest convenience. The other thing I have to tell you today is that um, everybody who is watching these videos, please click and subscribe to my videos to get all the new videos and updates that I am giving. Um, I haven't seen any subscribers yet, even though they're almost brand new, so please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Okay, jumping into part 3. Today, I will be discussing some important details about making sure you know about what to expect when going to downtown Disney District before, after, or during the theme parks when you're staying there. Downtown Disney District is a little shopping hub in the near at the Disneyland Resort. You can walk to downtown Disney District from the areas surrounding Disneyland and California Adventure, or you can take the monorail from Tomorrowland. Please be aware that with the monorail system from Tomorrowland, there is a hill that you have to climb to walk to the Tomorrowland monorail station. For me, it is a little hard because it's a big climb. If you have short legs like me, um, it could get a little bit harder for you. The other thing to note is that the Tomorrowland station for the monorail is really, really cool. The only thing that's a little hard too is if you're a taller guest getting on the monorail, please be aware you don't want to hit your head on there and get hurt. I don't have that problem because I'm only 5'1", so I would hardly hit my head on anything. But for other people, even including my brother that I have that's about 6'5", he would probably have to duck getting on the monorail. I don't know. I haven't been with him really to Disneyland since we were little kids. So, but I'm trying to twist his arm into taking him this year for the holidays season on a weekend. If the Disneyland resort opens by that point with rides. So the only thing that is going to slow you down on that part is if the resort's open, and I hope so. I really do. I want to go back to Disneyland so bad. I haven't been in almost 2 years because of the pandemic. So, those are some things that you're quickly going to realize when you're heading up to downtown Disney District. Now I will jump in to tell you about my top 5 favorite resorts that are the Good Neighbor hotels. The Good Neighbor hotels are off of the properties at the Disneyland Resort and are generally cheaper. So going from worst to best, well, none of them are bad, but going from number 5 to number 1 is number 5, and I don't really think I'll be staying there again unless they're no longer owned by the chain that they are for the hotels, is the Lockheed Hotel. It's off of Clementine, and I mentioned it in another video. The problem is, it was a great hotel to stay in up till a few years ago when we stayed there. But sadly, the Lockheed got taken over by another hotel chain, and it's still the Lockheed, but it's owned by somebody else. If anybody has the comments to see who owns them now, please let me know in the comments down below, because we just don't want to stay there anymore. Number 4 on my list is actually between a motel and a hotel. And it's actually a really nice one, even though it's a little bit older, and some of the amenities might be, to some, a little bit dated. It's called the Almo Inn. It's not too far from Disneyland. It's about 0.4 miles, so almost half a mile away. But you can walk pretty much a straight shot to get over toward the entrance of Disneyland. You still have to cross a couple streets. So, the other thing I will tell you is with the Almo Inn, it's very, very dated looking, but it's still really comfortable bedding, good bathrooms, great staff, and there's no problems with, bad people over there or a lot of traffic. So you can stay there, rest assured you'll be safe. Number 3 on my list is going to be called the Best Western Stovall's Inn. The Best Western Stovall's Inn is directly across the street from the entrance to the Disneyland Resort, where you have to go in and go to the turnstiles. And also walk to the Esplanade to go get ready to go over and get your tickets or your passes or whatever scanned. So, the reason I would rate it as my number 3 and very close to the top of the list is the Best Western Stovall's Inn is really a pretty hotel. It got remodeled recently along with many of the other hotels that are in the Best Western chain, because they had to go through rigorous room and hotel renovations due to the COVID-19 pandemic, making the hotels reconsider their designs and their amenities, as well as the look, to make them look more clean. Due to the Best Western Stovall's Inn being a little bit, cheaper than some of the other Best Westerns, if you're going to stay in a Best Western hotel for the first time near Anaheim, I would recommend staying there before you try some of the other ones. Okay, now for number 2 on my list. Number 2 on my list is going to be probably, I would say, sorry, wait a second. I'm trying to think of the name of the hotel again. Boy, I guess I can't remember the name of it now. But I like a lot of the hotels. So the Best Western Park Place, Best Western Hotel, is also very close to the Disneyland Esplanade and entrance area for the booths and areas to get checked into the parks. The only thing about that one is that it could be up on the higher prices for the best westerns. So please, I'll remind you to do your research about the hotels and everything, because if you don't do your research, you'll be really sorry, because if you pay the wrong price for a hotel that you don't like the amenities or the looks or the location, you just have to do your homework and make sure you know what you're getting yourself into. Number one on my list, so the last one on this list, is going to be actually a hotel that I haven't stayed in a long time. It's the Courtyard Marriott in Anaheim, about 0.6 miles away from the Disneyland Resort entrance area at Esplanade. The Courtyard Marriott Hotel is a huge, towering hotel, like most of them are. This one, I believe, I could be wrong. Somebody in the comments can tell me how many floors it is again, because I forgot how many floors it is. I think it could be 9 to 12 floors. Why, the reason I caught myself and said not 13 is that many people in the theme park and the hotel industries are known to be very superstitious. Walt Disney himself was very superstitious. The sad thing is, Disneyland is located at 1313 South Disneyland Drive. So he wished he could have probably changed the address numbers, but of course he really can't. Anyway, the other thing that I will now go into is making sure you understand what you're going to get into when you want to purchase something at the parks and at the downtown Disney district. When you buy merchandise at either downtown Disney or Disneyland and California Adventure, there are tons of shopping options down there to get shirts, sweatshirts, stuffed animals. If you're Star Wars fans, and I'm really not, some things there might be Star Wars merchandise almost everywhere. The other thing you're going to need to be aware of is that right now, because of the COVID-19 virus, they are encouraging actually using card as your preferred method of payment. They'll take cash, but otherwise they don't really encourage it anymore because they consider paper money very dirty. That might be the case, but I've never gotten sick by just touching paper money. So, if anybody has comments about that down below, please share your thoughts. The next thing I will tell you is that with dining options at the Disneyland Resort, Downtown Disney District, and Disney's California Adventure, is that the dining options are all very good for anybody, either on their own or with their families. Downtown Disney District, I really love to go to Goofy's Kitchen at the Disneyland Hotel. So, the original hotel for Disneyland. Goofy's Kitchen right now, I believe, because it's a character dining spot and the parks are closed, it still may not be open quite yet. But they're trying to reopen it as soon as possible. It also is a character dining spot, so that's why they may not have it open, because you can't touch or hug any of the characters at any parks yet. My favorite restaurant at California Adventure I forgot the actual name of the restaurant, so people can clarify it down below what it's called. It's actually got a booted sourdough bread factory tour in it, and it has really good soups and sourdough bread bowls. I like the seasonal soup. One of them they have, I think it has cheese, sour cream, and like um beer inside of it or something. But it doesn't taste like beer. It tastes like cheese and like some other stuff in it. The other thing that I love is I had some bacon cheddar soup another time and it was really, really good. If it reopens for the dining options, the soups will change quite a bit periodically so that you get a different taste of other things you can eat at that place. At the Disneyland Resort itself, I have to say that either the Coca-Cola Refreshment corner or the Plaza Inn is my favorite place to dine. The Plaza Inn is very old. It's, I think, one of the original places on Disneyland property as well. I really liked going to the character breakfast that Minnie Mouse was hosting. It was the Minnie character breakfast. Had a huge buffet and a ton of characters. We'll have to see what happens with that location once COVID-19 restrictions start to ease up. The other thing I like to eat there, so like I said, the Coca-Cola Refreshment Corner is an original dining location on Main Street, USA. It's right near the ice cream parlor and also right near where you can go right outside and sit for a parade or a show. So it's very ideal to grab your food from there and go sit outside and eat while you wait for the parades and stuff to start. They serve hot dogs, they serve like chips with it, drinks, and even, I believe, salads. People can also comment on what other options they like at the Disneyland Resort for their favorite foods. Tell me your favorite foods in the comments down below, please. Now, the other part I'm going to go into today is going to be making sure you understand about other rides at the Disneyland Resort that are the easiest to accessible entrances to for people with disabilities, including autism and other special needs to ride. I would say the easiest one for me, one of them to get on with not much help, is probably Pirates of the Caribbean. Isn't really that hard. The only reason it might be a struggle for some people to get used to is that it is a bit lower to climb into those boats, but it is not as low as like Splash Mountain and some of those other water rides. Another easy ride to get into by yourself is like any of the Fantasyland dark ride attractions, such as what's now going to be called Snow White's Enchanted Wish, which I told you about in one of the other videos. Yeah, don't forget, it's not going to be Snow White's Scary Adventures anymore. It's going to be Snow White's Enchanted Wish. The other ones that are a little bit easier is like the teacups. You can get in there really well by yourself for the most part. Another one I would say in a different land that's very easy for me to get into is Autotopia. Autotopia is very easy to get into and to use no matter if you have certain special needs or not. So, certain special needs still might make it a little difficult to use for Autotopia, but you could ask a cast member what they would suggest and know about people with different special needs. Most of the time, just take a companion with you if you don't feel comfortable driving the car. Even stuff in Tomorrowland, like Space Mountain and even Astro Orbiter, those rides are very easy to get into. They just might scare some people with sensory issues that are a little bit more severe than mine. And believe me, my sensory issues used to be really bad. So now that I'm doing so much better with everything, I can go on those rides with no problem. Astro Orbiter also goes up, like, you can control how high you go, but it does lift off the track a little bit. It stays on a track though, too. But you can control most of how high you go. Now, the other thing I'm going to have to say is the other one that is a little harder for me to get onto by myself is probably Splash Mountain, even though I've gotten a lot better than I was. Because Splash has a very low, like, you have to sit in the log and it's a little low. There's no seat belts, which is kind of make it or break it for some people. Because you may or may not feel safe for not having, a seatbelt in there. I personally know I'm not going to fall out because the logs are very deep. I've never had a problem with Splash Mountain, and it's one of my favorite rides. The other thing that has always been a challenge for me has been probably to get onto Alice in Wonderland only serves a little problem with the step up and step down sometimes. Depending on your special needs, you may have some trouble as well. Winnie the Pooh, the only thing that's a little bit challenging is the step down for somebody like me can be a little bit higher than you expect. And the ground can be a little tricky over there. You don't want to trip and fall. So if anybody has any questions or, comments they want to make about the hardest and easiest attractions for you to board, ride, and get off of, can go ahead and ask and leave comments down below. Also, I'll remind you to please subscribe again and to make sure that you are enjoying these videos, not leaving any negative comments or bullying. That will not be tolerated on my channel. The other thing that I will say is have fun with your experiences talking about what you enjoy at the Disneyland Resort, California Adventure, Downtown Disney District, and hotels off and on of Disneyland property. One of the other final things I'm going to say in this video is that if by any chance your special needs get the better of you when you're walking around the resort, the problem is with your special needs, depending on, if you get hurt or you just can't walk long distances, or your masks make you really, really tired and hard to walk, wheelchair rentals and strollers for kids are located on Main Street, USA. You can go in and talk to a cast member and tell them about your individual special needs and what might be better for you to learn to navigate around the parks in. And they will be happy to help you because Disneyland cast members are not to ever say the words, "I don't know," and they are great to work with and talk to about anybody who has special needs or any other services. So that's going to wrap up this part 3 video, navigating Downtown Disney District, Disneyland Resort, and California Adventure with autism and other special needs. Have a great day, Disney Special Needs members.